So, we've proved our innocence to the Klingon Empire and shown that we were not the ones responsible for attacking Khitomer. Doing so necessitated that we work alongside Ja'ula of House Mokai to uncover logs of Chancellor Jimbok's actions. Exposing the truth, however, did not simply exonerate us, it fractured the Empire. Many were disillusioned with the Chancellor already, and many more of the great houses still could not bring themselves to support Ja'ula either. In their view, neither option was an honourable leader. So, in recourse, house after house turned inwards and withdrew. Following this, we heard that the Chancellor has then dissolved the High Council completely and established himself as Emperor. The symbolic throne empty since the death of Kahless during the Iconian War.
In order to restore her faith in the Empire, in being Klingon, Matriarch Ja'ula is going to the monastery on Boreth. Long ago, her brother Tukuvma was a monk. And it is on Boreth where he began his journey on the path to greatness. Ja'ula hopes to do the same, that she can follow in his footsteps and save the Empire before Jimbok destroys it.
Well, currently we've yet to receive any orders or official resuming of Starfleet duties, so I guess we may as well accompany them to Boreth. Boreth is a spiritual home for the Klingons, themselves not exactly an overly religious people, but they do have a great faith and superstition in the legacy of their ancestors and believe in an afterlife of Sto-vo-kor. Usually the system is rather open with its visitors, but recent tensions have severely upset this, and right now the planet of ice and fire is denying many access. Joining us on this mission is the Lucara, Ja'ula's ship, the core where Adet Pa resides, and the Rotaran, General Martok's vessel. The Cold Star has departed, its job concluded.
Your arrival is timely. Several ships from rival Klingon houses are fighting to control this system, despite its long standing as neutral ground within the Empire. I will not see this sacred place brought under the heel of any house, great or small.
So this is a Klingon matter in my opinion, so it's completely down to you how you want to deal with this.
This is a petty squabble between packs of rabid targs. Nothing more. Let them growl and gnash their teeth. There are more important matters waiting to be resolved. We should ignore them and proceed to the monastery, my lady.
I mean, they're not coming towards us.
No, I will not abide this. I will show them the error of their ways, and give them the chance to leave this place with honor. Should they refuse, I will meet them in battle.
Right, well, I think I know how this is going to go. Shields up.
Perhaps your words will reach these curs, Ja'ula, but I'll keep my weapons ready.
As will I. This Baktag only speaks the language of battle.
Yes, but that is a language we all speak very well, if necessary.
Without the unity of the KDF and the oversight of the High Council, the houses have resorted to violence to settle their age-old disputes and grudges. Let's see what impact Ja'ula has.
Klingon vessels, this is Matriarch Ja'ula of House Mokai. You dishonor yourselves and your houses by fighting at this sacred place. In the name of Kahless, I ask you now to stand down and leave the system. Remember who you are.
So, the great Ja'ula comes to Boreth. I am surprised you have the nerve to show your face, woman. And you travel with Martok. He carries the sword of Kahless. A true Klingon warrior could seize the throne of the Emperor with such a weapon. No, I will not stand down. But I will give you and that old fool a warrior's death.
Bold words. If you think you can take the sword from this old fool, by all means try.
Show of hands, who guessed this was going to end in violence?
I will finish what Jimbok started, Martok. I will end it. This weapon will be mine, and mine alone.
As cards go, this pack is particularly weak and whiny.
It has long been said that Klingons do not do well in times of peace, and this is kind of why. They're so enamoured with battle that in the lack of an external opponent they busy themselves with internal conflicts and power plays. Tukuvma may have dragged the Klingons into war against the Federation in 2256, but he did so out of a necessity to unify them, to prevent them from tearing themselves apart. That was only half the answer, and the short-sighted half at that. The second part was accomplished by another, the formation of the KDF.
I think we've shown them the error of their ways. I'm sure they'll regale their ancestors with this precious knowledge once they arrive in Sto-vo-kor. Now, let's get on with it and do what we came here to do.
For once, I find myself in agreement with Martok, my lady. We have wasted enough time. We should go to the monastery now.
I am just saying, we could have flown right past them.
Very well. We shall proceed, before we find ourselves having to deal with more dishonorable Bachtak.
Sure, we're all in agreement. Let's move.
We should be cautious. Jimpok may seek to curry favor with the monks as well.
Indeed, their words hold weight for many throughout the Empire.
She's not wrong. As the spiritual hub of the Empire, Boreth might have no political power, but if it picked a side, it would be tantamount to announcing that Kahless himself had backed a leader. Kahless, the Klingon who first unified the houses into an empire, ending their internal warring and battling many outside threats, like the Fekyri and the Hurk. Tukuvma, who unified them once more into a war against the largest foe they'd seen in centuries, and L'Rell, the Chancellor who strong-armed the Great Houses into forming the KDF with the threat of destruction. Say what you will about the methods of the last two, for they are indeed brutal tactics, but the Klingons tend to respond to such things, and Kahless was known first as a great warrior too, with his true deeds lost to time and parable, and none know that better in the Empire than the monks of Boreth.
It is time. Martok, Adetpa, I shall meet you on the surface.
Very well, send me the landing coordinates and I'll assemble a small team to accompany you.
When we reached out to the monks, their instructions were quite clear. Only Adetpa, Martok, and myself will be allowed to enter the monastery on this day.
What? I'm not beaming down? But I always beam down. What do you mean I'm staying on the ship? What am I supposed to do while you guys are down there having all the fun?
I would ask you to remain on overwatch here. We cannot afford to be disturbed in the monastery. Should more of these fools arrive, I'd like you to explain our need for privacy to them, with weapons, if necessary. And if it is Jempok who comes to disrupt things, feel free to begin with weapons.
Okay, I can do that. I'll just stay here, in orbit, over the planet, protecting the ship. But that's supposed to be what I have Commander Tarsi for. Am I no longer the main character here? What's going on? I'm having an identity crisis, Martok. Help me.
Once more, seekers come to Boreth. Will they find what they seek? Time will tell.
My brother walked these halls. May I find a path forward here, as he once did. A path to save the Empire.
We must be cautious. If the monks are loyal to Jambok.
They are not. We're still breathing. If these halls were the home of traitors, we'd be on our way to Sto-vo-kor by now.
Matriarch Ja'ula, General Martok, Captain Adetpa. Come forth. We have many things to discuss.
Let's see what the monk has to say.
So yes, this mission is told entirely through these three, akin to the Zenkethi mission where you play as Nefpal, the Renegade's Regret. In this instance, you take control of Ja'ula. She's armed with twin 2256 Klingon disruptor pistols, a personal cloaking field that lasts only several seconds, and 2 ceremonial-style mek'leth like those favoured by the 23rd century House Mokai. In this mission we meet with Tenavik, the monk who oversees the time crystals of Boreth. Originally he was to be voiced by Kenneth Mitchell, the actor who portrayed him among other roles, but sadly his ALS prevented him, but he got to pick his replacement. Starkiller and Battlestar's Crashdown himself, Sam Witwer. Anyway, back to in-game. Tenavik is one of only a handful here who has access to the time crystals of Boreth, and that gives him a unique existence, shall we say. He likely experiences time relative to him, but to an outside observer, he appeared to age to his current stature before he was even brought here in 2257, and has since remained this age since that year. Yeah, living around temporally charged lattices will mess with you.
You know our names, Timekeeper. What is yours?
I am Tenavik, son of Vok. My grandmother was of House Morkai, and my mother served your noble brother with honor, as you well know. But once I was a son of none, like my father before me, and the child you lost.
That is a secret I buried with my child. How do you know of it?
House Morkai is not the only holder of secrets, Matriarch. Now, if you are here to seek sanctuary from your enemies, I cannot grant it.
That is not why I am here. I seek the wisdom of the ages, like Takufma before me.
I have spoken to many here with fire in their eyes. The same fire I now see in yours. They enter with conviction. Always. They leave broken. Always.
Under other circumstances, we could speak of such things for days. Unlike you, time is a luxury we do not have. So I shall be blunt. Will you help us or not?
If you stand prepared to pay the cost for what you seek, I will assist you in finding it. Follow me. Come.
From that dialogue, we can infer that House Mokai is aware to some extent of the time crystals, the secret of Boreth, but perhaps not in its entirety. The crystals here are very guarded, and even from their own people, but one of only several feats to come out of Boreth. After all, the monks here have also created the clone of Kalis to coincide with his legendary return.
The path forward lies beyond these doors.
So the monks of Boreth do occasionally do more than just offer advice and guidance. We follow Tenavik down several corridors to a chamber of meditation, one that is currently occupied by numerous Klingons, who unfortunately are not happy to see Ja'ula or Martok.
You are unfit to carry the sword of Kalis, Martok!
You dishonor yourself. For this, you will suffer.
It's worth pointing out too that the monks here are, well, warrior monks, because of course they are. They follow all the teachings of Kalis. The makeshift ambush is ended quickly. It seems some of them believed they could relieve Martok of the legendary weapon.
We have arrived. Your enemies are a bold and desperate lot to violate the sanctity of this place. Perhaps their deaths will be a warning to any other fools who would dishonor themselves so.
If there's one thing I've learned, it's that there's no shortage of fools willing to fight in a burning house.
Indeed. Thus we shall be made vigilant. When you are ready, you can conduct the ritual and seek the guidance you desire, Ja'ula.
So, we enter into a meditation in this cave of stifling heat and burning vapours, and it's not long before Ja'ula blacks out.
Where are the others, Tenavik? What is happening?
Patience, Matriarch. What you seek will be revealed in time.
It is not possible. And yet, you stand before me now. Kalis, the unforgettable. Kalis, the unforgettable.
Stepping out from the fire is indeed someone that does look a lot like Kalis.
And you are Ja'ula, matriarch of House Mokai. Long has it been since your bloodkin came to this chamber, seeking the wisdom of great rulers long dead. And now it is your turn, it seems. Speak! What would you ask of me?
The Empire is shattered, and a mad tyrant sits upon your throne. How can I repair the damage done, and restore what has been lost?
So much like your brother, he too sought unity. He thought he could find it through diplomacy at first, but in the end, well, you were there. You know of his solution, and the price he paid for it. If I am to guide you, I must know your heart. To begin, I will test you against the great evil from our distant past. Fight with honor!
He dissolves into embers and his form is gone. We can see 3 runes on the floor, and the red one beckons, a symbol of the past.
You seek wisdom? Come then! I have but one lesson to teach. It ends with your death!
Molo, I will send you back to Grethor in pieces!
Molor, the greatest tyrant of Klingon history and myth. Even in Grethor he plots to overthrow Feklar, so desperate for a throne is he.
Well fought! You remind me of your vessel's namesake. Take this, in honor of your victory.
Kalis was referring to Lady Lucara, his eventual wife and a warrior also of great renown. A strange red key has appeared over the glyph, so we take it.
We have one foe that challenges all Klingons from birth to death. Ourselves. Your second trial will bring that challenge to life. Fight well!
This time we kneel down in the yellow rune, one representing the present.
Long have you craved this, to end yourself. One final punishment for all your sins. Are you ready? Let us go to Grethor together. No! You speak the language of fear, of defeat. I deny you, spirit. I shall remain Klingon!
That's a pretty heavy thing to drop, but apparently deep down Ja'ula is fearful and guilt-ridden for all she has done.
A battle hard fought, against a foe most deadly. Kavan! Take the key and prepare. Your final trial awaits.
Once more we take a key from the pedestal.
A Klingon soul is measured upon death. If it is heavy with dishonor, the barge of the dead will deliver them unto Feklar at the gates of Grethor. However, if they have filled their heart with honor and glory, if they died a good death, then they will be welcomed in Stovokor. I would know if you are worthy to join me and our honored dead. And the one true way to know the measure of a Klingon soul is to meet them in battle. This shall be your final trial. Show me you have the heart of a warrior born! Show me you are worthy to walk the halls of Stovokor!
To fight the unforgettable, there is no greater honor for a Klingon!
Kalis himself now engages us, and if legend is to be believed, we cannot win against him, but we need to prove ourselves willing to try. Eventually, deflecting our final flurry, he lowers his stance, indicating the end of the battle.
Come on! A glorious battle worthy of song, brave Ja'ula. You have shown me your heart, and it is that of a true Klingon warrior. The 3 keys are yours. Tenavik will know what to do with them. Now go! Bring glory to your house, and to the Empire! Kapla!
You honor me, Kalis. We shall meet again in Stovokor, and sing songs of glory with the honored dead. Farewell.
We approach the final pedestal and take the third key, a blue one, and upon this, Jula wakes up.
You return to us. Did you find what you were looking for?
I saw Kalis. He tested me, and I was not found wanting. I was told to give these keys to you, Tenavik. Kalis said you would know their use.
I do. This is unexpected, but I shall abide. Though you have passed the trials of Kalos, your guidance here is not complete. There is still more for you to learn.
Would this involve a time crystal, by chance?
I would know more of your meeting with the man whose blade I carry. Was it actually him? Or some sort of hallucination?
It was he. The one called the Unforgettable. I faced him in battle, and I have the bruises to prove it. There will be time to speak of Kalis later. For now, we will follow Tenavik to our next destination.
Come with me, warriors.
It is worth pointing out, Jula claims to have injuries from that fight, and somehow she has 3 keys on her person that Tenavik recognises that she didn't have before. Whatever it was more than a hallucination.
This is Lucara. Matriarch, an enemy fleet has arrived. It looks like Gempox.
Signal is jammed. We can expect their troops soon. Be ready to fight.
Good. Perhaps Gempox will lead them himself, and we can put an end to all this.
As we approach the entry hall, we can already hear the sounds of battle.
Tenavik, several squads of warriors have beamed in to attack.
These arrogant fools will not stop me! Not now!
We will not tolerate this dishonor. We will defend this sacred place.
As mentioned, the monks of Boreth are quite capable warriors and arguably better than your average Klingon, considering they devote themselves entirely to Kalis' teachings, including his disciplines of war. There were a lot of Gempox soldiers, and it seems like they can beam in at will.
The path forward lies beyond these doors.
As we are about to see, Boreth could really use some transporter inhibitors.
For Kalis! For the Empire! Attack!
The battles are pretty much continuous. As we empty one corridor of soldiers, the chamber beyond yields more. This room, however, has channels dug into the sides to direct the planet's lava flows, the sign that we are heading deep into the mountain on which the monastery is built.
Come with me, warriors! Beyond this door lies a bridge. Upon it are 3 pillars. They are unlocked with the keys you earned in the trials. As I unlock the pillars, there will be 3 challenges.
Tell me of the first challenge.
Will be haunted by spirits from your past. Should they catch you, they will come forth and attack.
So, evade these temporal echoes, they're gonna chase us. Right.
Tell me of the second challenge.
The present will do what it can to chain you in place, and the weight of time will take its toll upon your body.
So keep an eye out for effects that are going to cause a lot of ouch when they go off. Got it.
Tell me of the third challenge.
The future can be a minefield. If you run blindly into it, you may find yourself caught in its blast. Thus, you must be wary.
That's pretty self-explanatory.
Trials, challenges, is everything you do so complicated, Tenavik?
It has been so since the time of Kalos, General. It is our duty to honor the traditions of our ancestors.
We know what we need to do. Let's get to it.
We emerge from the interior corridors onto an open bridge over a river of fire. This pathway is narrow and leaves little room to evade the trials that Tenavik spoke of. As we take in the sights, an anomaly spawns almost directly below us and summons enemies from Ja'ula's past. These include not only Klingon houses allied to Jimpoc, but Starfleet officers from the 23rd century. We evade more of these trails of fire that follow us as Tenavik completes his ritual with the Key of the Past, one down and we move on up the bridge. This time more warriors appear, beaming in, or apparitions, it doesn't matter, but the Key of the Present produces sporadically placed bursts
I must keep my focus.
that can harm us if we're in them. This time more warriors and the Key of the Future creates dangerous fires around us in a containing pattern limiting our movement. With the final key placed, the door at the other end of the bridge opens and we can proceed.
Open these doors, that we may proceed. Our path lies beyond these doors.
I see I can still rely on you to do the hard work, Matriarch, that I might reap the benefits.
Ah, no fair.
Do you want to kill him, or shall I?
Tread lightly, old man. This room is filled with time crystals. The monks might be displeased if any of them came to harm.
The only thing about to come to harm is you, Tachkek!
In a room full of time, yours is about to run out.
We shall see who is out of time, traitor!
Alongside the battle against Akar, we have the reappearance of the anomalies we saw on the bridge.
Before you die, you will experience bees! I swear it!
You first. I've experienced more than my share of these.
Bij means pain, punishment, just to point it out there. During the battle, Ja'ula takes some heavy hits, so I take a leaf out of her book and run away to patch myself up.
A typical woman, dancing when you should be fighting!
Are your transporters standing by, please?
It seems Akar is focusing most of his attention on Adet Pa, but my attention is not on the temporal anomalies.
That looked painful.
I love how nonchalant, like Martok sounds at that. Eventually, Akar is convinced to retreat.
Another time, another battle!
Tachkek didn't like the way we danced.
Run while you can, Mahui!
Pathetic. Pooh. The wind does not respect a fool, and neither do I.
His good fortune won't last forever. When we catch him, and we will, it is he who shall experience Bij.
This chamber is impressive. For a room filled with temporal weapons.
An interesting perspective. In this chamber, there is a crystal meant for Lady Ja'ula alone. When used, it will show her fate, should she continue on her current path. Not all are fated for greatness, and the truth is difficult for the mind to bear. And should you take the crystal from here, your fate will be sealed forever.
So these time crystals are natural crystalline growths that develop their lattice in time and space. In this fashion, they can hold a great deal of information. However, in Star Trek, these allow prophetic visions when touched, of the viewer's past or future. It is said that any visions witnessed will come to pass for certain if a crystal is removed from its place here, but perhaps this is quite simply the product of a predestination paradox, who can say. I have my own theories on the time crystals, but that's all speculation for another video. For now, lore-wise, they are a guarded secret of Boreth, the Empire in general, but have been stolen several times over the years. I would say their presence on this planet, of all the planets Kahless could have pointed to, makes for a hell of a coincidence. Maybe when he pointed to this planet and prophesied his return, well, prophecy and time travel tend to go hand in hand in Star Trek.
A warning, Matriarch. The present is a veil between anticipation and horror. Lift the veil, and madness may follow.
No! No!
Well, that was surreal. Did we witness two different outcomes or part of the same one?
Matriarch! Lady Juula, are you well? What did you see?
What you have seen is for you alone.
First I saw the end of Kronos, and the Empire. I then saw a matriarch of flames emerge from a pit. She held aloft the sword of Kalis, and all accepted her leadership. The houses of the Empire stood united once more.
A matriarch? A fitting description of you as leader of House Mokai.
Perhaps, but the sword is Martok's to wield, not mine. The fire pit seemed to be on Kronos, but I know of no such place. If it is there, it is well hidden.
Such visions can mix metaphor and reality in the minds of those who witness them. And yet, I believe must be done.
Yes, I would like to hear an explanation of all that as well, especially as the one who currently carries this sword of Caelus.
Your concern is understandable. I will explain once I believe it is safe to do so. Your enemies may be preparing another attack as we speak. Come. All will be revealed soon.
We leave this chamber of crystals, shaken and with some cryptic answers of a strange future. Tenevik says that those were for Jula alone, yet she shared them anyway, and in so doing it looks like Tenevik may also have been an intended recipient. However, the bridge, the only way in or out of this chamber, is blocked by more of Akar and Jimpok's forces.
Today, I will avenge my brothers. You will not leave here alive.
Truly a duel of fates.
Your brothers died as traitors, and you will join them soon enough!
So don't expect Akar to fight fair. Not only does he send in the remaining Son of None, he also sends in an orbital strike. I think I literally just dodged a Starship Disruptor. The final Son of None adopts the same naming convention as his brothers, just his weapon name, Batleth Pukru. But once the other forces are down, it's not exactly a fair fight against him.
Do you hear? Your brothers call to you! Join them in death!
So many Sons of None have faced similar fates, used as weapons, sacrificed by the sons of houses great and small. I will warn you, brother. We should keep moving. Come with me. Our destination is not far. This way.
We traverse the monastery further, twisting down a maze of corridors until we reach another chamber. In here we can see the same glyphs of past, present and future, and a retinue of assembled monks. Clearly Tenevik let them know to be here.
This place... it seems familiar to me. I think I saw it in my vision.
That is probably no coincidence, my lady. Tenavik, why have you brought us here? What is this place?
Some time ago, this chamber was used to create a clone of Kalish the Unforgettable.
The year 2369.
Why would you bring us here? Do you mean to make another clone of Caelus?
No. The clone of Kalish served the Empire well. He was the warrior we needed then. The clone we mean to bring forth is a warrior fit for today's battles.
Is that wise? Why bring a clone of another long-dead leader to life?
You know the power of legend quite well, General. The weapon you carry speaks to that. Your objective is noble, but the odds against you are great. With a warrior of legend at your side, your chances for victory grow considerably. Come, we have much to do, and another attack could happen soon. First, I need you to open the cloning pit. Next, open the floodgates.
So here was the birthplace of Emperor Caelus the Clone. The technology here is hidden behind ritual and imbibed with superstition. The monks around the edge have begun the ritualistic performance of the Mok'Bara martial arts. This is more than just a fighting style though. Developed by Caelus, it was taught by the Unforgettable when he dove into Hell, Grethel, to retrieve the soul of his father. The act served to embolden the soul of his parent and caused him to remember his body, helping bring him back to life from beyond the veil. The performance of the Mok'Bara here is in no doubt to aid the returning spirit, whoever that is, in a similar fashion.
Lava. The fire from my vision?
Time is the fire in which we're born. Now, lower the simulacrum. It begins. Come, join me. It won't be long now.
A female Klingon form is lowered on a metal grate into the hole into the ground and into the pit of fire. There must be more than just magma down there, though. However this process works, it sure is dressed up with plenty of myth.
Everything is in place. We are prepared to begin the cloning process.
Then proceed. Bring your legendary warrior back to us, Tenavik. I look forward to meeting them.
She returns to us.
L'Rell. I remember her. How proud she was to stand at my brother's side during the war with the Federation. The battles she fought to preserve his vision, no matter the cost. She was a great and powerful leader. One of the few strong enough to become Chancellor. You chose your legend well, Tenavik.
I do not understand. She does not wake. Her soul is missing. The body lives, but without the soul. It remains in a state of torpor.
How? How are we to find a missing soul?
There are ways this could be done, my lady. Some of the great secrets known to our house border on the supernatural. I will need to conduct some research at one of our secure facilities to learn more.
I am beginning to see why the people of Nimbus 3 called you a witch. Very well. If this can be done, let us do so, while we still can.
We shall safeguard L'Rell within this chamber, while you do what must be done, Matriarch.
Guard her well, Tenavik. We will return as soon as we can.
So, Tenavik seeks to create a living clone of a former Chancellor, L'Rell. I can see why they wouldn't just choose another Kahless. The last one only died a year or so ago, and he was never truly accepted by all, although many would now acknowledge his heroism in facing an Iaconian in single combat alone. To bring him back so quickly would cheapen his legacy and be tantamount to announcing that they would always simply create a new emperor. But why L'Rell? Well, she unified the Empire once, with force and the threat of destroying Kronos. And with Federation, help. However, that is not widely known, so although her reign was often challenged, she continued to hold the reins of the Empire and subsequently forced it into the shape that it would be for the next 154 years.
Our ships are ready to beam us up at your command, my lady.
Oh, cool. No, we got him all those jammed up. Oh, shit, they're back.
Kavan, you have held the line well, I see.
Yep. I mean, we had a couple of ships, nothing too bad. Did you do good?
It was, in several ways, though there is more work to be done. I will debrief you once we have dealt with our enemies in battle.
Yeah, after the last lot got by us, they've kind of just been keeping their distance. So, I guess now you're back, we're free to leave?
My crew tells me you fought well. A compliment not easily earned.
I can't be bothered to argue, so I'll just accept the compliment. Naturally, before we can leave the system, we have to engage the Imperial vessels that are still blocking our escape. The Klingon fleet hits us with a heavy barrage of attacks and deals a great amount of damage, so we have to veer off our attack and hit their flanking vessels instead.
I see you managed to kill another son of Nan. No matter. There will always be more. He did what I needed of him. He stalled your advance long enough for reinforcements to arrive, and for that I will honor him. Once I have killed you, of course. You and the rest of that pathetic rabble.
I presume Akar is talking on an open comm line because we never fought down there on Barth. However, we've kicked his ass before, and we'll do again.
Indeed. And I have grown weary of his vain, empty threats. The time for battle has arrived.
We have bigger things to deal with than Akar. But since he has put a fleet in our way, I will be happy to destroy it, and him, before we move on. Fight well, and with honor!
Good plan.
I'm surprised you aren't running in terror, matriarch.
I like to lead you, Akar. You are far better at it than I.
And we leave Akar's Clothos-class IKS Targ to our allies, which is a newer vessel awarded to him by Jumpot. In the meantime, we thin the herd.
Perhaps you remember what it means to be Klingon after all!
We have never forgotten, unlike you. Worm!
I leave you with one final gift, my lady.
Oh man, the armature is real messed up.
We have a problem. Akar's final gift was a new virus, custom made for the Lucara. Critical systems are failing throughout the ship, including the antimatter containment fields.
Oh, yeah, that's not good. Can you stop that?
Not in the time we have left. And, thanks to Akar, our escape pods are offline. We are unable to abandon ship.
Okay. Prepare your crew to escape. We're gonna do a mass emergency transport to the Armiger. We can see that her vessel is heavily damaged, but it's the system failures that are gonna claim it. You know, some part of me is still kinda sad that she's going down. I guess I'd been hoping that I'd be the one to finish it in battle.
The Lucara warp core is critical. Get out of there!
The Lucara. She carried me safely to this time, served me well in so many battles. To come so far, achieve so much, only to be taken from me by a treacherous coward. I will not forget, and I will avenge your loss, Lucara. I swear it.
You know, I still don't like you, Jula, but I can empathize with that.
That craven Vec will no doubt call for aid from Jimpak, and we have a great task to prepare for. We must leave this place, and soon.
So, in the meantime, Jula fills us in on the plan, the reincarnation of L'Rell and the path forwards. It all sounds crazy, if it hadn't already happened before with Cadus. It has been a strange day for her, it seems. And while I cannot pardon her for her previous actions, I can at least understand her a bit better.
I believe the matriarch has a way forward, though not without cost. She is prepared to use what she has learned. But first, there is the matter of L'Rell and her missing soul. One day, Jula must go to Konus and confront Jumpok, but not today. Where she must go next, I believe that will be a strange journey indeed. I will contact you once I have completed my research. We would be honored to have you at our side for the next challenge that awaits us.
In the meantime, we return to dock, a Federation port at long last, for much needed repair and a new uniform. And this has been a long one, so thanks for watching this episode of Star Trek Online as we continue to explore the rapidly closing storyline of Star Trek Online. At least for a while, it's still growing. thanks again. I've been Rick, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.